There comes a moment on the twin flame journey that feels almost electric. You sense it before it shows in the physical. It's like the universe shifts its focus, and suddenly you are all he can feel. You are on his mind, in his dreams, in his heart. You're not chasing him, not calling him, not even reaching out energetically like before, but somehow he's pulled to you with a magnetic force he can no longer deny. You may be asking, why now? Why does the divine masculine suddenly feel this intense, almost uncontrollable pull toward me? This isn't just about attraction. It isn't just about desire. This is something far deeper, something soul-stirring. It is the energy of reunion stirring within him, a sacred response to your own inner transformation. The divine masculine begins to feel the gravity of the bond he once resisted, not because of anything you said or did, but because of who you've become. This is what we will explore here, deeply and thoroughly. The first and most important shift happens within you. Without fanfare, without forcing anything, you begin to choose yourself. You turn your focus inward, not in resentment or escape, but in surrender. The pain that once consumed you has become a teacher. The longing that once overwhelmed you has become sacred fuel for healing. And that is when something truly miraculous begins to unfold. The divine masculine is bonded to your soul on a frequency that goes beyond the physical. He may be distant, silent, or even unaware consciously, but on the soul level, he feels every evolution you go through. When you move from need to peace, from fear to trust, something inside him stirs. It's not just that he senses your growth, it's that your new frequency mirrors what his soul is seeking. Many divine feminines don't realize how much their energy changes as they heal. When you stop trying to fix or chase the connection, you automatically return to your own center. You begin to radiate with authenticity, peace, confidence. That is the moment he begins to feel your light as something new. It doesn't beg for him. It doesn't depend on him. And because of that, it awakens the part of him that's been dormant. You've stepped into your power, not by doing more, but by letting go of control. And that energetic shift is irresistible to the divine masculine because it mirrors the union he's been searching for within himself. What you can do is stay deeply connected to this energy. Keep tending to your healing. Sit with your soul every day. Let your joy be sacred. Let your boundaries be clear. Be in devotion to your own becoming. That's not selfish, it's sacred. And it is precisely that energy that calls him forward, not through pressure, but through alignment. One of the most common reasons the divine masculine pulls away on this journey is because he doesn't feel emotionally safe. Not because of anything wrong with the divine feminine, but because he is still running from his own heart. When he feels your longing, your pain, your need for answers, it overwhelms him, even if you're not speaking it aloud. He feels your inner landscape, and if it mirrors his own chaos, he retreats. But when you stop needing closure and start giving yourself peace, your energy shifts into a place of calm. Your field becomes softer, more open, less charged. You're no longer trying to be chosen. You're not bracing for abandonment. You're simply being. And that, for him, feels different than anything else he's ever known. For the first time, he feels like he can breathe in your presence. He doesn't feel judged. He doesn't feel smothered. He feels peace. And peace, for a soul who has lived in chaos, is magnetic. This is why your inner healing is never just for you. It creates a safe, energetic space for both of you. And this safety doesn't mean you shrink yourself to accommodate his wounds. It means you hold yourself in such deep self-love that you no longer project unhealed stories onto him. You don't see him as the cause of your pain or the key to your joy. You see him as a soul on his own journey. And that shift, rooted in compassion, not attachment, makes your energy feel like home. He may not be able to explain it. He may still try to resist it, but the soul recognizes peace. It recognizes safety, and eventually the pull becomes undeniable. This is why the divine masculine begins to come back, not to the old version of you, but to the essence you've uncovered. He doesn't return to the past. He returns to your presence. The spiritual paradox of twin flames is that union often begins the moment you let go. Not let go of the love, but let go of the attachment, the timelines, the expectations. When you release your grip, something shifts in the fabric of your connection. Your detachment creates space, and that space is powerful. The divine masculine has, for so long, defined his choices through logic, control, and avoidance of deep feeling. He has lived in his mind, running from the intensity of what he feels for you. But when you detach, you take your energy out of the push-pull cycle. You no longer send out the unspoken question of, when will you come back? Instead, you say, I'm here. I'm whole. I'm walking forward. That absence of pressure stirs something in him. For the first time, he's left alone with his own silence. Your detachment creates a mirror. He's no longer reacting to you. He's facing himself. And that's when the awakening begins. At first, it's subtle, a dream, a memory, a sudden wave of missing you that makes no sense to him. But it grows. Your silence becomes louder than your presence ever was. Not because you're punishing him, but because you've come home to yourself. When the divine feminine stops waiting, the divine masculine must start looking. When she stops reaching out, he begins to feel the emptiness of his own walls. And eventually, the soul calls him forward. You may not see it immediately. You may not hear from him right away. But something within him has changed. The detachment that once scared you is now the very thing that opens him. So trust the space. Don't rush to fill it. Let the silence be sacred. Let it be a container for your own growth and a catalyst for his awakening. There is only so long the divine masculine can run from what is true. At first, he tries everything to stay in control. He fills his life with noise, work, distractions, people, even surface-level relationships. He convinces himself that he has moved on, that this connection is something he can forget. But slowly, all of those distractions begin to lose their grip. The busyness doesn't fulfill him anymore. The company of others doesn't reach the deeper parts of his heart. The numbness he once relied on begins to crack. That's when he starts to feel it, the ache. A soft, persistent pull that keeps returning. He doesn't always know what it is at first, but he feels it in quiet moments, when he's alone, when he's lying awake at night, or when something reminds him of you. It's not just a memory of the past. It's a presence, a sense of something unfinished, something deeper than he ever allowed himself to admit. This is not about obsession or longing from the ego. This is the soul remembering. This is the heart starting to break through the walls he built around it. The love he tried to escape has not gone away. It's only grown stronger in the silence. And now, he's beginning to feel the truth of it. He may try to fight it. He may try to push it away again. But the feeling is not going anywhere. The love is real. The connection is real. And no matter how much time has passed, your energy remains familiar to him. It doesn't come with pressure. It doesn't demand anything. It just is, steady, deep, undeniable. This realization doesn't always hit like lightning. It often comes gently over time. He may not even have words for it, but he feels the difference between what's real and what isn't. The life he's built without you begins to feel empty, even if it looks successful on the outside. And the love he ran from begins to feel like home. This awakening brings emotional waves. There may be grief for lost time, regret over past actions, or sadness over the distance between you. He may cry, he may isolate, he may retreat into himself as everything he once believed begins to fall apart. But this collapse is sacred. It clears the illusions, the fears, the pride, and all the false stories that kept him away from the truth. And that truth is simple. He knows you. Not with his mind, but with his heart. The bond is not just emotional or physical, it's spiritual. It has always existed. It is written into his soul. And once the heart remembers, it cannot unremember. Once the soul awakens, it cannot go back to sleep. When the divine masculine reaches this point, he begins to move not out of confusion, but out of clarity. Not because he's desperate, but because he's ready. Not to escape something, but to return to something real. You are not just a person from his past. You are part of his becoming. You are not a phase or a fantasy. You are a mirror that reflects the truth of who he really is. And when his heart finally sees that, the resistance falls away. This is why he suddenly can't resist you. Not because you've chased him, but because the love you share can no longer be hidden. It lives in him, just as it lives in you. There comes a point when the divine masculine finds himself in a space he can no longer avoid. It may look like success on the outside, but deep within he feels lost. The things that once gave him purpose no longer inspire him. The roles he played for others begin to feel heavy, and the inner emptiness becomes harder to ignore. In those quiet, difficult moments, something begins to reach him. Your light. This light is not loud. It doesn't try to convince or control. It doesn't say, "Look at me." It simply shines. It exists because you have chosen healing. You have chosen to grow. You have faced your own wounds and walked through your pain, not to prove anything to him, but to return to yourself. That light is real, and it becomes something he cannot ignore. He begins to notice the way your presence lingers. He feels the peace you carry now. He senses your strength, not as force, but as grace. He can feel that you're no longer in pain the way you once were. You're not reaching out, not chasing, not holding on to the past. You are present, rooted, alive, and it changes everything. Your light becomes a quiet reminder of who he truly is. It softens him. It disarms the defenses he's carried for so long. It doesn't tell him what to do, but it shows him what's possible. He starts to remember the warmth of your energy, the honesty of your presence, the way he felt seen around you, and he realizes he hasn't felt that way in a long time. He begins to look at his life with different eyes. The things he built to protect himself now feel like prisons. The choices he made out of fear no longer make sense. And your light, steady and constant, becomes a reflection of what his soul desires most: freedom, love, truth. This doesn't mean you are responsible for him. You are not here to fix him or carry him. You are here to walk your path with courage and integrity. That is what guides him, not your effort to awaken him, but your decision to awaken yourself. Your healing, your joy, your peace, they are not just for you. They ripple outward. They speak to his heart in a language that words cannot. He may not respond right away. He may not fully understand what he's feeling. But the more you live your truth, the more it becomes impossible for him to stay asleep. You are showing him through your example that there is another way, a way of living from the heart, a way of choosing love over fear, a way of being fully alive without hiding. And eventually, when he is ready, he follows that light, not because he needs to be rescued, but because he wants to return to himself. Your light leads him there. Your truth calls him there, not by force, but by resonance. So continue to grow, continue to shine. You are not waiting for him. You are living for yourself. And in doing so, you are lighting the way, not just for him, but for both of you to walk a higher path. Because in returning to who you truly are, you've given him permission to do the same. And that kind of light can never be ignored. If the divine masculine is suddenly feeling pulled toward you, it is not random. It is not fleeting. It is the soul beginning to speak louder than fear. It is the energy of divine timing unfolding in ways you may not fully understand yet, but you can feel it. You don't need to chase this. You don't need to explain it. You only need to stay rooted in your own truth. Let him come. Not to the version of you that once waited, but to the version of you that now walks in power, peace, and purpose. This journey is not about getting someone back. It's about coming home to yourself so fully that those meant for you feel it on a soul level and return. Not to complete you, but to walk beside you. So when he suddenly cannot resist you anymore, know that it is not your beauty or your effort or your longing that calls him. It is your truth, your peace, your presence, your soul. And that is something no one can ever take away.